We're on RTMP. We're streaming. We are live. Can you all hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you see our character over here?
Yeah.
I'm
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. So, today we will be hosting our Webaverse art team and dev team, including Guilty, Moon, Mementoshi, Darling, and Kiwi. So, we'll today talk about the max efficiency of Webaverse Character Studio and its current prospect and the future. So, I would like to invite Moon, my co-host, and Guilty, the art team, who will talk about it.
Well, hello.
Hey. You want to take it first? I mean, I can probably click through some of these traits while you're speaking, and maybe do a little, zooming around with the character.
Let's see here. Yeah. So this is our character creator. We at Webaverse, we at Webaverse have been working on this for a little bit. We have lots of really unique traits. Yeah, as you can see
Just
here,
clicking through it.
yeah, lots of good stuff. We got eye colors, we got hair colors, hairstyles, different skin color. We have lots of different outfit combinations you can do, and it's all the things that you'd expect out of a character creator, basically. There's also a lot of cool stuff going on underneath the hood, and it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but it's looking pretty good.
You can kind of see it there, where like, yeah. So let's talk about some of the tech, and then I'm going to show you guys something totally crazy you're probably not expecting from this at all. Mimalon here has been working on probably one of the most interesting things I've seen in a character creator, which is removing the geometry underneath the clothing by calculating visibility. So we're still a little bit too aggressive here. I think we're even just leaving it aggressive just as we develop, just to make sure, we're kind of doing it right. But if you kind of look in here, you can see that the actual clothing gets removed past a certain visibility point. So we have some control over this. We can say, okay, well, let's, let one or two more kind of along the every edge go. But this lets us remove a lot of what's called overdraw. So typically, one of the problems with avatars is they'll have, if they're built like this, they'll have many layers of geometry on top of each other. And that geometry gets rendered no matter what. That rendering is expensive, especially when you have a lot of avatars. So by removing the underneath geometry, we're actually making the avatar more performant in two ways. One, it just has less geometry, it just has less overall polygons to render. But two, we're also reducing overdraw. So when it renders, it only has to draw each of the pixels more or less once when it passes over. So that's a major optimization that we're adding there. Another thing that we're doing. Yeah.
I just want to say, from an art perspective of the culling that's going on, it actually solves a lot of problems. It makes it a lot easier to even make avatars like this.
Right.
So, in the future, let's say, if we wanted to add more stuff to this, it's a lot easier to just make the base mesh, make the clothes, and not have to worry too much about making sure everything's perfect, because it does it for you, and that's great from an art perspective.
Right. One of the biggest problems we have with these kinds of meshes is we want to make tight meshes. We want her clothing to be really tight on her body. But if the clothing is on her body and her geometry is underneath there as well, we can get a lot of collisions, and it's very, very hard to author around that, because everything needs to have some sort of safety boundary around it, especially since these are not really uniform. She's a skin mesh. When she moves her leg, it's really going to deform a lot, and it can deform through the mesh. You can see little glitches and pops. So this actually, there's no geometry underneath these pants. And we also, we've recently added in the final flow, you can download it with or without all of this optimization. So if you want to take this character into Blender and, maybe do your own thing or change out some of her parts on your own, you can get a fully unoptimized character. But we're also offering this bake because it just dramatically, reduces the size of everything. let's see. There's a couple other things. Another thing we're doing really cool. Miguel, do you want to talk about the atlasing?
Yeah, sure. At the end, the character when it's downloaded, we worked on a process that is combining all the textures into a single atlas. So at the end, instead of having a lot of materials per model, we will have only one single. And in video games, this is called a draw call. So it's normally very expensive to have more than one draw call per skinned mesh. So this optimization also works for having multiple characters in the same scene because you will only have one draw call per character. And I mean, all of these things make the character more optimized. As you mentioned before, the culling meshes help a lot in reducing the time of the time creation process for the artist, and also the amount of faces that are being drawn. And also this thing of atlasing makes it even more optimized for video games. So that is something we've been working on this project so far, and the results you can see them there. Actually, it's one project of a kind. There's right now there's nothing like that out there. So there's also something I want to mention. I'd really like to mention that we are using the VRM format in the newest version, the VRM1 format. And this is to be able to use it not only to view it on the web or download it as a human, but also use it. But also be able to use it anywhere, like Unity, like platforms that support the VRM format.
Yeah, one of the most notable cases is that not only can it be used in Webaverse, is that you can actually do VTubing with these if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does work with that.
So yeah, another choice that we made that's very small is that you notice that the entire character is opaque. I mean, what I mean by that is that we didn't use any transparent textures here because Game Engine said not to like transparent. If you can avoid it, it's always better. And that allowed us to get away with a single atlas draw call bake for this entire character. So let's see. I mean, that's most of the main tech, right? A lot of the complexity here is like, okay, we have to take all of these different pieces, put them together, make sure that all of the blend shapes and everything apply properly across the face and the different, the body and everything there. The animation is tracking properly, and then bake it all down to a single VRM. There's one last thing that we're working on that I think is really interesting, which is part of this baking process, but is also just like something that we're doing in here that's really interesting. So what we're doing is, let's see, we're adding a personality extension to the 3D mesh. And so this is an extension that a friend of ours has been working on. And we're adding it to the mesh, and then when we it's saved there with the personality when it's exported, and then you can actually pull that personality out of the VRM wherever you load this character into other worlds, and kind of have this like interoperability not just of the model but of this like personality. And so we're using this for NPCs, for our NPCs on being able to recognize and describe your character. There's like a lot of interesting flexibility. So I'm going to show you what this actually translates to. So I've got a character here. Hey, how's it going? Is it a word?
Hey there! I'm Maya, a famous Twitch streamer. I love playing video games and hanging out on Twitch, and I'm known for pulling devious pranks on my Sims. If you ask me, a healthy relationship is one where I'm in control and get to take charge. Thanks for talking to me.
Is it
I
working?
got one question from community
Sure.
that
Hey, what's
how
up?
this
Hey there!
this studio will work. Like how will they distribute about the rarity thing? How the is it open for all, or is it only for the community, the pass holders? How the distribution process work for these avatars?
Okay. I wanted to show off the AI first before I talk about the economics.
Oh, sure.
So since I'm showing off an AI character talking to me through browser in the thing, I think that's probably a lot more interesting. Let's start with that, and then I'll get into how this the money situation goes. So I've made a character here named Maya. just messing around. Hey Maya, what's going on? How are you?
Hey there.
What's your favorite thing to do on the weekends?
Hey there. I'm Maya, a famous Twitch
Oh,
streamer.
come on.
I love playing video games and hanging out on Twitch,
not liking
and
it.
I'm known
Very
for pulling
stream, very stream shy.
I'm gonna refresh it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying this with a microphone. What's your favorite hobby?
Hey there, Moon. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Just hanging out on Twitch, playing some games and talking to my viewers. I love video games. They're a great way to relax and have some fun. Thanks
She
for
looks
talking to
cute.
me.
Cool. So we're working on that. You get the idea. So what we're
Hey there.
here doing here
I'm
is we're
Maya,
actually
a famous
Hold
Twitch
on.
streamer. I love playing video.
Gonna want to keep talking. So what we're doing is adding the personality and basically putting it on her, and then using that as a prompt for our little conversational game here. We're still tweaking this out, but basically you'll be able to talk to your characters once you've minted them as part of the flow. So that gets us to where the value is for holders. Ultimately, what is our goal here? Our goal with this project is really to give everybody in the metaverse an avatar. I think a lot of people have not really thought about this, or they don't have any VRM characters in their wallet yet. I think this is probably a first for a lot of people. I think first and foremost, we want to build a bigger tent and get a lot of people in. So it's important to us to create something that isn't super exclusive and isn't just creating value for holders. So it will be a free open mint on Polygon for most people. However, we have a couple of things that we're adding that will be holder only, and I'll pull up the Figma too, because I'll probably go through that next a little bit, just to kind of show you guys where we're going with this. So one, these avatars will be part of the Genesis Pass experience. There will be a Genesis collection that will be on Ethereum. You will only be allowed to or able to mint them on Ethereum during this time while this is running if you have a Genesis Pass. And therefore there will be a maximum supply there of 20k, one per pass essentially. There will be, some features that some traits that are Genesis Pass holder only, and that will probably disable for the general kind of going, but we don't want to do that with too much. Just a few things that we think are going to make it look kind of special, like some golden pieces and stuff like that. There will be rare Genesis avatars. They will be a holder-only thing that you can mint onto Ethereum. Everybody else can come and mint an open edition on Polygon if they want to. And the goal there is not for them is really about the why we mint it all, which is that these are interoperable assets you can bring with you as game assets. You need to mint them if you want them to go places. So we're going to be offering this as something, minting is going to be very, very common in Webaverse, and something you can do a lot of. We're very
That's
open.
really cool.
Yeah, we're very open to the community. If you have any ideas, I don't know, I'm always sitting there listening to ideas. Obviously, Fed is too, and you feed me those ideas, and that influences our decision making a lot. So we're not here to tell the community what we're doing, and that's final. We're here as an open conversation, and this we want this to be something that you guys really love. So this design that we're showing off, this is kind of just a temp design. We've been really tackling the hard problems of trying to get the character baked and exported with blend shapes and expressions and looking good in the new Webaverse has been a real challenge. There's just all kinds of stuff. We went from the old version of VRM to the new version from to 1.0, and we're just getting to okay, great, we've solved the tech. Now let's really make it a great product. I think we were expecting to make this a much less ambitious release, just kind of an airdrop, and just as a matter of things, and the AI stuff kind of coming in, and just where we're at, I think we've put a lot more into it, and kind of reassess the product as something that we could really lean into and give to other creators and stuff in the future. So
That's something I also want to mention, Dermot.
absolutely.
As you mentioned, we've solved the hard part of the technology, and the great thing about this is that we are now working on Unity plugins, so everyone is able to make their own characters. So that is something that will be we will try to make it easier for everyone to create their own base character and create their own clothing. So this is like for the community to write. So where we as a team have managed to make these characters, the drug hunter and the neurohacker bot. The community will also be able to create their own characters if they want, and we will provide them with the tools to do so easily. Because right now, it's kind of hard to know what DRM wants for some people, and some others know how to create 3D models with skinned mesh, and I don't know, they want to create their own character with their own fields. That will be easier in the future with the plugins we are working inside of Unity. So it's just a drag and drop and then export with adding the custom traits and the custom names of what each part of the mesh is. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think the community will be interested in this part too. Because at the end, I believe working with the community will be something great in this process.
Totally, and authoring this stuff, especially we've set it up in a way that the way it's set up is completely independent of the actual assets. They're all in like a JSON data format. You could theoretically author that anywhere. It would be cool to see that authored like in Unity, and then you press a button, and now, you have everything you need to go into the character creator, which is obviously open source, and we want it to be something that's skinnable, something we can work with teams on, but also that we'll be opening it up kind of past this experience. We'll be taking this tech and opening it up to more of like a user or creator marketplace, where you can bring your stuff, bring your 3D things, and people can put them on their characters and see how that goes, I think it's a totally new way of doing marketplace, since we've kind of been looking at little like rounded corner cards on OpenSea to decide if these are things we'd want to wear, and it's just not really a great 3D user experience yet.
Exactly. And
Moon sir,
okay.
I got one question that is this the AI cloud based or it's independent? Like what are the aids capacities basically?
I'm sorry, the AI's capabilities?
Yes, so the question is that is this studio is AI cloud based or is it independent?
The AI itself? The AI itself is cloud based. We're wrapping that with our own API so that it's just like handled for you in the experience. I should mention that the AI is also a holder only perk. You can only talk to the characters if you have a Genesis pass.
So basically, TLDR, if you want to use Webaverse AI part, you should now get some Genesis pass.
Yes. So what we will be doing in the future, the plan tentatively. Don't hold me to this because these are really hard things to execute. We're we have a lot on our plate, but the tentative plan right now is that we'll be doing all of that, and basically this is a holder only experience until we have the coin stuff ready. Specifically because we want to let the coin be something that integrates with our, AI services is a great place to like spend the coin and sync it. And we have a lot of AI throughout, obviously all of the stuff we're doing, Upstreet and Raid Party and all the game stuff we're working on. We're assuming that's going to be where like we're syncing our coins and stuff, and we'll do a release around that.
Okay.
So last part, this is probably something you don't see very often unless you're a product designer or a UI designer or something. We've sort of up on my screen I have Figma open. Figma is a collaborative design tool. It's nice because it's multiplayer, so we can share these around. So this is how our team shares designs. So this is kind of the new design that we're implementing right now, because we want people to be able to create their character or load a character and come back. You can have a bunch of characters that are sort of saved in your wallet. And you can come back and then click on one, and that'll let you talk to them and eventually also re-customize them. So we won't have that right now in the immediate experience, but we will allow you to re-customize your characters. We have a plan with the Genesis characters where you'll be able to, hopefully this is the plan. It's a little complicated, but basically you can set your character as kind of what you think the season character is. Like that's definitely happening, right? This is the Genesis Pass character forever, but we also want to add an override so that you could then say like, well, I think that's going to be the best collection character, but I actually think I want the blue hair, you know, for my personal version. So you can have like an override that clears if you sell your character or whatever, and that way you can personalize the characters without it being totally locked down to what you think is going to sell. I guess we can decouple those kinds of things and allow people to really make a collection that they think is valuable. But we won't be adding that customization option in the UI immediately. That'll be something that comes later.
So in the Figma, as you all can see,
these are
there's a desktop version, there's a mobile version. So you know, I just want to tell that these studio will be have, you know, you can use it in browser, you can use it on phone, like there will be an optimized app for every device which you own, and you can use it from your phone or from your browser, any way you want.
Yeah. So so in the flow, we're starting with 6 character classes from Upstreet. After we do that, we'll probably redesign this toward more of the open marketplace. The 6 character classes, there's, you know, we're releasing 2 at a time basically. So right now, when this opens up, you'll be able to get the Neural Hacker and the Drop Hunter, and then I think next is the Lisp Witch and the Engineer, I think. Eventually, I think that we'll have it so each person can get 3 characters per pass. I don't think it's just 1. We're figuring that stuff out yet, though. If you have feedback, that'd be great. But that would mean you could only get 1. You'd have to choose like one of these 2, then one of these 2, then one of these 2, and you know, you'd get 3 classes out of the 6. You can see kind of redesigning. We're redesigning this character a little bit. He looks a little strange. But then we're gonna have this kind of character bio stuff.
Some of the assets are still works in progress. As you see, we're still working on them.
And
so Monza,
yep.
I get one question from community that, you know, so they're asking like, if there are any prospect of some rarity traits for holders only and some common traits for everyone else, basically.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Is there any possibility like that?
Yes, we're doing a couple of holder-only traits. I think that we decided that we could just like say, okay, well, these 2 traits are holder-only, but they really have to be pretty ubiquitous. So I think we're gonna we're working it out with the art team to do something, but probably like golden hair, golden clothing, like 1 set kind of thing, and you can choose that stuff or part of it if you want to in your character. You know, it's hard with character creators to establish rarity by like, oh, well, like we have a couple of different ideas for how we could do this. One of them is that we could just compute it based on what people select, and so the rare stuff is actually the rare stuff. Another one that we can do is we can cull the most popular and least popular assets, like 10% of each, to create rarity based on what people select in the selection period. We're still working this out, and definitely down to take feedback. But remember, like, you know, this is also supposed to be an expressive thing where you're making your ideal thing, and I don't want to limit somebody from being able to make their ideal thing if possible, you know, their ideal character. So it's a balance. We're working on it. We're really open to feedback on this, and you know, we want to get it right. But you kind of, you know, we're very transparent about the different forces here, obviously.
So sir, can we show some traits with the, like if possible, can we share some traits right now with the community? 1 or 2 would be fine. If we can.
What do you mean by share some traits? Like just show some of the. I mean, I can show you the different stuff in the character creator, but we don't have anything that's blocked off right now. You know.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But everyone will get to play with this. You know, we still probably need a few more weeks to get everything ready to ship. You can see there's still lots of little small stuff we want to work on and get the flow right. And in that time, we'll be taking feedback. So if you know, just message here, or especially post in the holders only chat, we'll get that feedback and see what we can do. You know, I've definitely been listening to community a lot already on this.
So Guilty sir, what are the challenges the team, like what is the biggest challenge which you guys face for building this character studio on in terms of the art?
Yeah, basically with the art, like oh, hold on, let me grab my little dog real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, one of the challenges with the art is just how many assets that actually go into this. Like, there are, I think right now we have, we have like at least like 10 outfits worth that, like, when multiplied together, just make so many different possibilities, plus all the different hand-picked color choices. Yeah, it just leads to a lot of art being done.
Yeah, the main overwhelm is like, a lot of things don't work well with other things. This is another thing that we're doing in here that's subtle. If ultimately some jackets just are not going to work with some underneath pieces because they have styles that they cause collisions between the two, and that we try and minimize that, obviously, but we also want to have some flexibility in making some creative stuff that doesn't all feel like super cookie cutter fit into a very specific defined shape. And so that means that we have to create kind of a banning system where if I put on some clothing, it will actually swap or force the other clothing to change because it just doesn't work together. And so that banning system, and also going through, I don't know, it actually it removed the layer on top of what she was wearing because this piece of clothing would have clashed with it, especially around the back. So that banning system, it's just an enormous amount of time to go through every single piece and basically say, can I fix this? Can I mush this? Or is this going to have to be a ban? Then you got to program that in, and you just got to do that, times like 1,000 pieces, basically, because each piece has lots and lots of colors.
It's been a labor of love.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
There's also, you can actually test it right now. You cannot choose pants with boots. So whenever we set that restriction in the manifest, so in the banning system, we said that if the user selected some boots while the character was wearing already some pants, large pants, it will remove the pants to play the boots. You can actually test it right now if you select in the feet section any boots.
Like those boots. Yeah, it swaps that out. And then if I gotta go get some, and you can see if I put pants on, it actually swaps them out because it's gonna override with whichever one was the kind of fitting one,
I think the boots are just first.
And then I can do something like that.
So you know what? Sharon is saying that he wants to build 100 customized AI NPCs that can roam around in Webaverse for themselves, like automatic.
Yep.
Cool.
So the way this project started was we need thousands of AI NPCs who can walk around. Then we worked backwards from, okay, if we're going to do that, we need a character creator for humans too, I guess, because we're going to need a lot of ingredients. This is definitely going to be something where I think what we have in mind here is this is not just your avatar, right? Like, you might not identify as this character, but you're actually minting this character and they're going into the Webaverse world, they're going to Webaverse Wiki, they're going into Upstreet. They could, in the future, you want them to be like autonomously part of the world even when you're not there. You can be like, hey, what were you doing when I was gone? The other really interesting thing that we're doing is using all of these pieces as ingredients for like a newer Stable Diffusion thing, where you could then just type in, this is future, but basically by creating all these assets, we now have a pipeline to create more assets eventually. But you just like describe your character and it, bam, generates it and textures it all from these kind of base ingredients. But we're not there yet. But definitely we built this with like AI very deeply in mind for where we're going with it. And the Upstreet part of our team is definitely like taking these assets and doing crazy stuff with it right now. So yeah. Anything else we want to cover? See enough of this this character, this screen?
I think it's about all from me on my side. It's I hope that everybody enjoys like the designs, and all the different options we have. And yeah, like if for holders and whatnot, if you guys want to see anything specific with the avatars themselves, like in terms of clothing or colors or little accessories or something like that, like absolutely let us know. We are totally down and like down to listen if you guys have any ideas.
We should
So
do,
you know
like-
what?
Yeah.
The most important thing about the studio is that it's not just an NFT collection. Everyone can have, unlimited type of the traits in character, and we can, partner with some great CT personalities and the Gen Z influencers. They can vibe with this character within their like TikTok or utilize streams. And like there is no limitation of the usage of these characters, and that makes this studio very unique and very important for the future of the upstreet game which we are building right now.
Yeah. And we'll also be taking the voice and AI tech and stuff we're working on, and probably letting you eventually upload your own characters here and play with them too. That'll be, or also round tripping your characters so you can take them down to Blender, customize them, and bring them back. But we want, that would be for the purposes of like the AI or optimization passes or things you can't really get other places, but you can definitely get here.
Yeah. So yeah. Um. So thank you everyone for joining us right now. And Moon, can you leak some alpha for the community, a bit of it? If you want something like, what's the prospect for the team which you're building for the next a month or so?
For the next
Coming
month,
next.
yeah, I mean the alpha is, look, we're releasing this. That's the plan. We're also releasing a new build of Webaverse for the community, which I've been calling Community Edition. But if you're a developer, it solves a lot of the problems you might have been frustrated with Webaverse kind of off the bat. But also it's got a new UI. It's a nice sandbox experience. Got multiplayer, and we'll be doing something like, if you like VR chat, you're gonna love this, and it'll work on every device. And we're also targeting mobile, because we've sort of unchained ourselves from some of the upstreet stuff, where that's going to continue on. But we'll be building this without mini map and some of the hardcore camera view stuff and things that are actually preventing us from getting to mobile quicker. So that's what we're working on, and look out for a bunch more AI stuff too.
So you know what? I just want to add one last thing. Like I have seen many Japanese the AI apps, the AR apps. But the thing is that there is still not a- like an app which works with everything efficiently at one place. And I think these app which we are building is the most efficient app. I think everyone like it's not the thing which we are building is the most efficient thing, and hopefully everyone will like it. Like it's the most efficient thing which I have seen with the demonstration, and this is that part of studio is what makes me most bullish on it.
Right. I think that
The
people
mobile
don't
app
really.
also.
Totally. People don't really account for that. And there's Ready Player Me, and they've got a very efficient avatar system now too. It wasn't for a long time, but now it is. But that's because they don't do what they're not baking different parts of a character together. Their entire body is just one body and one head on top. You choose your head, you choose your body, that's it. And we wanted to give people a more customizable, much more customizable experience. And I also imagine the furry creators coming, getting a hold of this, and making some cool anthro options, and you never see these kinds of things in the mainstream stuff. So by creating something that's open source, hopefully very hackable, and that also solves this deeper problem of making performant avatars, because most of them are not very performant. I think that hopefully we can get some other communities on board and doing their own thing, and even if that's not a revenue capture for us, and we're not marketplacing that, people are just using it, I think that's a great win. We just really want everyone using VRM, making better avatars, and generally just using avatars in their lives.
So
Absolutely. The end goal in the future is to have kind of a universal method for people to get avatars, and kind of make them in in a really easy way.
Yeah. I think we'll also be making
So,
a
you know-
library for this. This is not event. I'm really busy, but we'll be making a library so that other devs can import our avatar baking stuff if they use VRM and bake it and export it as well.
So and like the next, in my opinion, the next evolution of NFT is the 3D part. People are they think that the JPEG, 2D JPEG is all like. I think the NFTs are more than just 2D JPEG, and when they realize this, that everyone can use their 3D JPEG, the
Yeah,
NFT
I
avatar.
have complicated feelings
Yeah.
about this. On the one hand,
Yeah,
2D JPEGs are really, really nice because they're really transportable and they're really easy to put as your PFP. And like for most people, for most places, your avatar is your PFP. It is a 2D JPEG. But as 3D becomes something you use more in your life, it becomes more ubiquitous and just common and just in everything, and the interface for it is good, especially as Apple gets, really doubles down on this, and other consumer hardware and software companies double down. I think that you'll just start seeing this become the meta just because 3D is like the obvious thing you need. But it's really it's straight down to utility, right? Like on some level, if you can use this in every place you are, it's going to be much more valuable. And until it is, it's still somewhat
Yeah.
niche. But I can tell you this is where it's going, right? Like it's definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely going this direction. And the
that's
other
my
thing.
point.
The other thing is that we're about to. Everybody's been looking at avatars through the lens of the PFP, of the profile picture for myself, right? It's like a self-identity thing. And I actually don't think that in the near term most avatars are going to be something we wear. I think they're going to be like the way we embody things we interact with. We're going to have AI assistants. We're going to have, AI in everything. Your fridge would probably have an AI with like a face on it at some point here. Like it's just going to be in everything. Everything is kind of being anthropomorphized with artificial intelligence in various ways. And so I would assume that these characters might live on your desk or, might send you an email more than like you wear them and go shill them. And they might be shilling for you themselves on Twitter, And so that's where these are probably going to overrun PFPs once you put AI into this stuff. Because now they have agency, they have character, they're their own thing. They're not, they're not like a stationary, solid, thing. But on the other hand, if you're a trader, a PFP is nice. It's like it's easy to send, it's easy to show, it's easy to prove provenance on. It's widely supported. So I get why we are in the place we're in, and I think that it's gonna not just be like a bam, everything changes overnight. But I do think that we're practical and aiming our ships where in the direction of the North Star, right? Like we're going where things are headed, so that when it's all ready, we'll be right there first. Does that make sense?
So my hot take is that that Eliza, which we are building right now, will replace the Alexa of Amazon, like you're using right now.
I
The thing
hope
is
so.
that we are moving towards the 3D internet, and this is the first leg of which we are building in Webaverse. So I think there is, like, this is the time to get involved, build stuff, interact, vibe, and enjoy the future outcomes which we are building.
Agreed.
The whole something.
Any closing comments from the team? Anything you guys want to share or say before we get out of here for the day?
Yeah, I
Good
think
here.
we can close it now. So thank you everyone. Thanks for joining, and we will keep sharing the more content, more stuff which we are building, and in the Genesis chat. So hope to see you there. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Stay tuned. We got more stuff coming in the future.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Thanks, so take care.
Ciao, ciao.